So this is going to be the P500 snorkel video. It may look like I've done a lot, but I really haven't. It just seems like a lot. All I've done is pretty much take the back rack and back plastics off and pull the air box, which is actually very simple. So this is what it looks like right now. Having one of these makes life a lot easier. This is supposed to be up here, but having one of these makes life so much easier for pulling them little plastic pop pins out, or push pins. Let's see, because these back fenders have, let's see, what, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 push pins in just one. And then of course the snorkel, or the factory intake breather, has like 2 or 3 in it. But there's gonna be push pins, and the fender sitting here is gonna be push pin back here, up here somewhere, and there's gonna be 1, 2, 3. There's gonna be a 4th one down here behind the bar. Best thing to do is just take the back seat off and the front seat off, which is real easy. And then once you do that, you don't have to pull none of the push pins out of that black piece. All you're gonna have to do is just unbolt the rack from the bottom. I think, actually, hold on, let me look at it. I unbolted the front, but you don't have to do that. That's just for it to sit on. But pretty much all you have to do is just unbolt the 4. There's 2 bolts here, 2 bolts here, 2 bolts here, and then 2 bolts here. These little holes right here are just for the bolt to sit down in. That's it. Actually, they're not even for that. I think they're just resting points. But all you do is just pull them 8 bolts out of these, and then you can just pick the rack up off. It does have a plug in it, which is for the back brake light, which comes up to right here. So just be careful and be mindful when you go to pull the back rack up that this is still plugged in. And then once you do that, you pull it off the air boxes right here. There'll be a bolt right here, I believe. Yeah, there'll be a bolt right here, which is this little piece right here. There'll be a bolt in that screws into the frame right here. You take it out, it's a 10mm, I believe. And then you undo your throttle body, which is right here. And then let me grab the light, see a little better. But you undo the little hose clamp, pipe clamp right here. That goes on the throttle body. You'll just unloosen it, and then the air box just sits in these 2 little prongs right here. You just pull it out of them 2 little prongs and kind of pick up on it. And then keep in mind also that it is plugged in to the little sensor, oxygen sensor right here. So you're going to unplug it, which is right, let's see, right here. Actually, this is the rear tail light right here, and then this is the little sensor that plugs in like right here. So you'll just unplug those, and then you'll have, of course, your little drain hose for the air box. I don't know if it's plugged down here. No, it's not plugged. That's weird. Huh, I didn't know that. So keep in mind, drain hose for the air box is not plugged. That'll need to be fixed. It's just open. I did not know that. Then once you get your air box out, of course, pull all your stock boots out, get all that factory adhesive off of it. Even like this little sensor, pull it out, pull the main throttle body boot out, and this is your little drain hole, and pull those out. I will say this air box is much easier to work inside of, unlike a Foreman or a ATV air box, because they're a lot smaller. This is a lot bigger, so you have a lot more hand room in here. And then the crankcase breather is a little bit different also. There may be a better way to do this, but it's not on there with one of those little clips. There's not a prong sticking out like the drain hole right here. It's just kind of, there's a little rubber boot in there. I don't know how to do this so y'all can see it better, but you can see I ultra blacked it, but the hose comes in and it has this little plug in it which expands the hose so it can't slide back out. So I just gooped a bunch of ultra black on it right there, and just, I don't know if you can see it right here, but I caked a bunch of ultra black on it right here. So we're not going to do any piping on it tonight, just so we can let all of that ultra black dry, because that does need to dry. So once you get all that done, you can let that dry overnight, is how I prefer to do it. So when you go to putting it back in, you don't break the seal on that ultra black, which is the smarter thing to do. Start it on a day that you're not going to be riding it for the next couple days. You could do it in the same night if you wanted, I reckon, but I don't recommend it. I like to let it sit overnight and dry before trying to stuff the air box back in it. That way the ultra black is dry and you can work with it and move it and not rip the seal. But even if you do let it sit overnight, always check it again before you take it in water. Make sure that none of them did crack or anything like that, and if they did, you can reapply ultra black and so forth. So after you get that done, oh, I will add that this is also in the air box, which is weird to me. I've never seen one of these in it. Makes it hard, so I just kind of ripped this out. It's not held in there by nothing, it's just held in there by pressure to keep the air filter on the little boot in there, but that's what the clamp's for. So I just pulled it out. I'm not gonna put it back in. And it has the same air filter as a four-wheeler, of course, so, which is right there. Need to get us a uni for it, old uni air filter. And we're probably gonna check this lid. Need to order another seal for it, because the lids on the P500s don't have the 6-prong clamps. It just has the 4, so get a better seal for it. And then we'll put some dielectric grease in here whenever we go to put the lid back on until we can get another seal for it. And that should keep water out just fine. We're gonna try to figure out a solution for the plug, the drain plug. Don't know what we're gonna do about that yet, but we'll figure that out.
I should buy one.
Yeah, we can probably find us one at the store. Wherever we find it, we'll put that in the video. So I think what we're about to start doing is going in here and dielectric greasing everything and getting that started, because it's pretty important. Should have done this when we pulled the air box out, but it's alright, we're not working in a dirty environment. I always like to plug the throttle body to keep trash and stuff from falling in it. Oh. Just stick that in there. So we're about to start dielectric greasing all these little plugs, like even the tail light, whatever we can get to, we're going to dielectric grease. These, they're just anyone you can get your hand on, do it, especially like the throttle body. Of course, don't forget your spark plug boot. That's pretty important. A lot of folks that comment and are like, as soon as I get down to about my seat and water, the four-wheeler cuts off. I don't know why it is. And then you ask them if they dielectric grease their spark plug. They haven't. A lot of times that can be a problem. So just make sure you dielectric grease your spark plug and any other plug that you can get your hands on. Hondas are pretty watertight from the factory, so it's not terrible, but it helps to dielectric grease if you can dielectric grease. If you can get your hands on it and get it off, dielectric grease it, because that's just more preventative maintenance, that you don't have to worry about. So I guess we're just gonna start dielectric greasing, and then whenever we get to start putting in the piping, I guess we'll get back to y'all. We're gonna do a center snorkel on this one, so it's gonna come out and it's gonna 90 this way, and then it's gonna 90 back this way, and then it's gonna 90 up, and then we're probably gonna 45 it right here, and then 45 it back, and then just come up like this. We may do another set of 45s to get it kind of closer to this bar right here and have it kind of sitting right over this bar. I don't know what we're gonna do exactly yet, but we'll figure out the angling as we go. But I do know we're gonna come out 90 this way, and then 90 back this way, and then 90 up, and then 45 around this bar to get behind this rack. So we'll be doing a lot of taking on and off of the rack to figure that out, which luckily you can slide them into these slots pretty easily. So should be pretty straightforward. We're probably gonna take the dash out of it, seal the dash, Need to do that because being this is a side by side, it's gonna go in the water. So can't really water willy these as easy as a four wheeler. So probably take the dash out and seal a dash on it.
Water willy the Polaris Ranger.
Yeah, I mean we could put some people on the back of it and get it water willying, but as right now we're just gonna ride it out and see how it does. So we'll see how that goes. Mine should be back up and running this week. Just ordered all new relays for it, and we're gonna try to reseal that dry box. It should be good to go. I gotta go pick up yeah, it's poor 520. Then we're gonna go pick up a new battery for it, and it should be ready to go. Talon snorkeled. I might make an overview video on that if y'all want to see that. Comment. And I know I keep reiterating this, but comment if y'all want to see a truck build, because I don't know if I'm gonna do it yet or not, but I am building it, of course, but putting it on video is a big, I don't know.
Comment.
Yeah, comment. We need to know. Comment. I've been averaging about 3,000 views per video, so there's a lot of y'all that are watching and subscribing. So comment and let me know what you want to see. That way I can better plan videos, I guess I should say, or do better at aiming for what I need to be videoing, and not just videoing crap that y'all don't really want to see. Which I guess the views are saying for themselves that y'all want to watch it. So just let us know. I think I'm gonna cut this off for the night, because all we're really about to do is finish up dielectric greasing things, and then we'll get back to putting the piping in tomorrow. We got all the piping and stuff, so I'll get back to y'all on that one. Alright, so update. I wasn't gonna bore y'all with all the actual cutting and the fitment. I didn't measure anything with a tape measure. I just kind of went out on wang and did it by eye and did it by look, pretty much. So it's all in there for fitment purposes right now. So got some zip ties just holding it up in place right this second. Gonna do something a little bit more permanent here shortly. And then so technically what we got going on is we got a shaved down piece of 2-inch pipe coming out of the air box, which I'll show y'all that. Coming out, it comes out of the air box probably 3 inches if you include what goes into that 90, which I'll have all the measurements somewhere right in this area in the video listed on the screen. Ordered from like this piece coming out of the air box to be 1, the 90, and then I'll have measurement 2 after the 90, and then another 90, and then another 90, and I'll have all the little pieces, because these 90s up here are butted, but we'll get to that in a minute. So you got a shaved piece coming out of the air box into a 90, into a longer piece that comes out and then comes into this 90 right here, which turns right into another 90 that turns up into a 45, which then has a shorter piece of PVC in between it, into another 45, and goes straight up into a black piece of PVC, into a 45, and then a short piece of pipe in between it to make it match up into a 90, and then we'll have another piece right here. But the tip's gonna be paint matched to the green. Where's this? Where's your front piece? Oh, right here. It'll be paint matched to this, so the tip of the snorkel will look just like this. I don't know if we're gonna paint any of this, so we'll see about that. We're gonna have to put it all together anyway. I really don't feel like painting it, being honest, because once you put the seats on, you really won't see it that much, unless you're back here, and then you'll see it coming out right there. But I think we're just gonna send it. We might paint from this 45 up and just let that be it. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Really don't know if I want to paint it, because I kind of wanted to get it done tonight. But we still got a lot of dielectric greasing to do and vent lines. Got to figure out where they're all at, which I know where most of them are at. And then I think in this video I'm going to show how to seal the screen on these two, because they're the same as the four-wheeler, so it'll work the same as doing a Foreman 500. It's just the process of taking the screen out of the dash is going to be different than taking it out of a four-wheeler. And if we get his running, get the front output shaft seal changed in his four-wheeler, I may just go ahead and do the screen on it too, just to be safe. And I guess I can include that in this video too. I don't know, I'll figure that part out. But I'm gonna get this back rack taken off, and let y'all look at it a little. Dang it, I can't take the back rack off actually. I guess I could. I'm about to have to paint it anyway, so it don't really matter. I'll just use these side cutters. Cut this zip tie right here that I really didn't want to cut. And we'll just...
No.
So, that line, I think that comes from the transfer case or the rear diff or something. Yeah, it's rear diff. But, as you can see, comes out of the air box, short piece right here. I got it going into the air box to about right here. So about an inch and a quarter into the air box, just to be safe. And then comes out to here, into a 90, to a straight piece, to a 90, to another 90 going up, into a 45 here, and then another straight piece, 45 up into the tip. We're gonna go ahead and get this tip off since I got everything measured up and it's snorkeled right and everything's good. We're gonna paint this, and while it's drying, I'm gonna come in here and mark all these pieces, and I'm gonna glue it all the way up to right here into this 45 and leave this piece out, or leave this piece in. And it's just gonna be this 45 up to this piece of PVC pipe left. And then we'll glue that after we put the rack back on and send it. Which technically we could glue it like this is now. I just really don't want to have to be aggravated with it. I don't know, I might do it. We'll see later on in the video. Air box after letting dry, definitely well worth letting it dry overnight. Looks real good. Rock solid, makes it better for trying to fit PVC on the air box when you're testing, or when you're doing the test fit and all that. It works way better letting it sit overnight. Highly recommend it. That's how I'll be doing it from now on. So we're gonna go paint this tip, and then I'll get back to y'all with all the measurements. Or I'm gonna probably just write them down and put them on the screen somewhere around in here. But that way y'all can just pre-cut all the pieces and then just put it together pretty much. And it should work perfect. So, all right, quick little overview. I mean, it looks the same as last time you've seen it, but got all my PVC marked. So every joint, even the ones that don't quite matter, they're all marked. So like this piece technically doesn't matter, but it helps to mark both of them. That way you don't have to worry about getting angles. This one I didn't mark just because it's going to be a straight piece of pipe coming up anyway, so it really doesn't matter. So I'm gonna start measuring the pipe as I take it out and writing it down, and then once I get it all written down, I'll rewrite it in order: 1, 92, 93, 94, 9, or 45, 5, 45, and then piece that goes up, and then write it in order, and then put it on the screen, show it on the screen like right here, and then y'all can just pause it and write it down and cut the pieces out. All right, got this piece out. I'm about to start gluing it. I'm just gonna be measuring as I take it out and glue it. But this is the shaved down piece. You can see I got it pretty thin, which is perfect. That's what you want. This stuff's strong, so I mean you can see the skin turning white as I squeeze it. This stuff's strong, so you can get it. I mean, I literally got it almost paper thin right there. I use an angle grinder. You can use a table saw, set it to the perfect height, whatever. I use angle grinder, works good. I shaved this one back. It doesn't really matter. I'll have it written down, but I shaved it back 1 3/4 inches. You can see right there, 1 3/4 inches. That's how I did it. But I'll have it written down, the shaved part and then the whole piece. So I just want to show y'all that. All right, we're gonna go over vent lines and dielectric greasing. Vent lines, this is probably one of the best things you can get. It has all the different little connectors. Probably can't see none of that, but this, you just go to like Advanced Auto Parts and go back over there by the oils and stuff, and you'll see that down there on the bottom shelf. that helps out a lot because I used that when it came to the fan, and when it came to the fuel tank, that helped a lot. So vent lines, all pretty easy. Same as a four-wheeler pretty much, except for the coolant overflow tank does not have a vent line, or if it does, I can't find it. It has little slots right here, like there used to be a line there, but I mean, I felt all the way around the thing. I've looked all the way around it. It has no vent line on it whatsoever. So you only technically have 5, which would be your front fan, which the factory one runs up here and runs around and goes down into this little factory holding place right here. And of course you got your front diff, which is right here, and it just runs up behind the fan and comes up and runs into the frame right here. That's the 2 for the front, and in the back you've got 3. You've got your rear diff, which is right here and pinched. Need to fix that, but here's your rear diff. It comes up and runs over this way. It comes up the frame right here, and then it runs up into this little plastic piece into the frame. Let me fix this real quick. I'll edit this part out. All right, make sure not to pinch any of your lines. So rear diff. Now your water pump is up in here. If I can get my light wherever it's at, right here. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see it down in there. Let's see if I can get it there. Okay, here we go. You can see it right there. You see it coming off the motor. Right. See if I can get the camera right. Right there. That little piece that comes off. Just like a 500, it goes down there and has a little clip where it dumps out into a little hole in the skid plate. I just took it and took a screw and put some ultra black on all over the screw and stuck it in the hole, and then just kind of smoothed the ultra black out around it and called that it. That's how I always do mine. I just plug them. It gets rid of a vent line, and I mean, it's a Honda, so usually they don't go bad, because they're supposed to, when they're leaking, it's supposed to tell you when your water pump's going bad, but never had one do it, so I always just plug them. So next one's gonna be your fuel tank, and on these it's a little bit harder to get to. I mean, you can see it from back in here because that's your fuel pump right there. Right there, you can see all the wires. That's your fuel pump. But the best way I found to do it is you come up here. There's a bunch of push tabs here, 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 and then they go all down this here, here, and here. I took all them out, and then there's 2 Phillips heads. There's a Phillips head here. Actually, I think that's the only Phillips head I took out. The other ones are too hard to get out, so I left them in. But you can pull this back. It's doored by that, everybody. You can put your fingers in right here, pull this back, and then grab this right here and pull it up and get it out enough, and use one of those connectors out of that kit and put it in the factory fuel line, and then take the other vent line, which is this one, and connect it to it. Vent lines for the diffs are 0.170 inner diameter, quarter outer diameter, and I think, I'm not sure, I think the fuel line, I'm not sure what size I used for that, because it was just some that I had left over sitting around. So main is to have 0.180, and then have like some 1/4 inch inner diameter, and just probably the 2 smallest is really the best to keep around. Let's see, what's this one? I just opened this one. Yeah, it's 0.170 inner diameter also. But .170 is what I used for the fan, and then I can't remember what else I used. There's some even smaller line that's smaller than .170. I mean, it's itty bitty. Let's see. I don't know if it's gonna say it on it. This is the size you want to use though. I don't know the sizes. I just use it on all my Honda, so I know what to get. But pretty simple. Easiest way to do it is you can always just take and go through and find your vent lines before you go to the store, and just cut the ends of them off and take the ends of the vent lines with you, so you know what exactly to get as far as sizes. My phone is about to get on my nerve. Cut this mess off. Alright, so that's vent lines. There should be 5. You got your rear diff, front diff, water pump, gas tank, and your fan vent line. That's the only 5 that I know of. So the dielectric greasing. I don't know if you can tell, but you should be able to see it oozing out. I dielectric grease to the lid, to the air box, because we haven't got the seal yet. So just threw a bead of dielectric grease in there. We're gonna get a hose clamp for the crankcase to go on the motor. Still gotta do that. All your fuel injection system connectors, dielectric grease them. Be careful, take time. I don't care if it takes 5 minutes to take a connector off. Take the time and take them off. Because if you break one, that's your fuel system. So you gotta be very careful with that. So I always preach to anybody that if I'm working like this P500 is Robinson's, so I'm working on it for him and helping him and doing a lot of the main stuff for him. And then I usually let whoever's it is go around and dielectric grease everything and show them where it's at and help them out. But I always preach to them, take your time. I don't care if it takes 5 minutes to get a connector loose. Take the time and get it loose right. Don't try to rush through it and get mad and break it, because if you break it, you're gonna end up having to do some rigging to make it work, and that's just not right when it comes to your electrical system. So just take the time, get them off right. Next piece is your computer. You don't have a power steering computer on this because they don't have power steering. So your computer, and you come up front, you've got your headlights here. All these connectors right here, there's like 3 of them. This one, which goes to your dash. I'm not gonna finish this video tonight because we are gonna come back out here and take the dash out, and we're gonna seal the dash and show you how to do that. Then you've got like your automatic connector, or your automatic manual connector, which is down here, right here. Definitely want to do that. Your headlight switch, which is over here, right down here. Do that one. Do these 2. Your fan, which comes up and runs to one of these 2. What else? I think this is your paddle shifters right here. Dielectric grease it. Any you can find up here, dielectric grease them. And there's some more back here by the air box too, down here on the battery side. Down in there, there's some you want to get too. They're a little bit hard to get out, so take your time with those definitely, because that goes to your battery recharging system. You definitely don't want to mess that up. I think so far that's it. So vent lines, dielectric greasing, went over. I'm gonna go ahead and put this in the frame. This right here, this is the shave, 1 1/4 or 1 3/4 shaved. Then the whole piece itself is 4 1/4, and 1 3/4 of that is shaved. That goes into a 90, then goes into 11 1/4 piece of pipe that goes into another 90, which has a 2-inch piece in between this 90 and this 90. That makes them butt up flush like that. And then you'll have another 2-inch piece that butts them up flush in between this 90 and this 45. And then after that, you'll have a 4 1/4 piece that goes from this 45 to this 45. This piece right here is 4 1/4. And then I did my actual pipe 28 inches long, which then you go to the tip, which is a 45 to a 2-inch piece, which makes them flush into a 90, and then you just do like a 45-degree cut and then paint it whatever color you want. I don't know, but you don't have to do your tip like that. You can just do a basic 90, or you can get creative with it. But I know somebody that does them like this, so this isn't my idea. I'm not gonna take credit for it by any means. I just like it, so I use it. And anybody asks me, where'd you get the tip? It's from Trace Thompson, which is the guy that does my gear reductions. So I just like the look of it, and I'm not about to drive 2 hours to get that type of tip, so I'm gonna do it myself. So let's see, I think the only thing left to do for y'all is just show you the seal on the dash, and that's gonna be it. So I'm gonna cut the video right here because I've already got like 30 minutes of video footage, so I'm gonna let it go right here. So comment, like, subscribe. Video's not over, I will be back, but just still, either way, don't forget that. I'm gonna tidy up these vent lines, make them look pretty, and then I'm gonna call it a night. I'm probably gonna put the back rack back on. That should be it. Rest of it we should be able to do with the rack on it, so I'm gonna do that and be done for the night. And then either tomorrow or the next day we'll come back and do the dash. And then we gotta do some tidying up on his four-wheeler and my four-wheeler before Boondocks, which is this weekend. So if you're there and you see me, say what's up. See you. All right, so we're taking the dash out. This is what it looks like after you pull it out, but it sits up in there. Pretty simple. If I can get it readjusted. Let's see that. All right, so it sits in there just like, pretty much just like this. There's two 10mm bolts here and here, and then there's 1, 2, 3, 4 Phillips head screws that go around it. You can see it pretty easily, and it slides out. Then you got 1, 2, 3 more Phillips head screws. They're black, so they're color coded, so it'd be pretty easy to tell where they went. And once you get that, then you'll unplug this inside of this boot and pull it out. Which this one may be different. I don't know. It may just unplug from right here, and then that'd be it. So you may just have to unplug it right here, and this be. I doubt it though. We'll find out in just a second. All right. So yeah, there is a plug in here. Pretty simple. You just reach in there, grab that little tab right there, and pull it out. Just like that. Now it's out. So what you're gonna do now, you're gonna take your silicone, get over here in some better light. You're just gonna silicone all these little pieces right here. Well, that was sealed, but these 3 little holes. And then I always just, water ain't really gonna get in around this because it's got a rubber gasket on the inside of it. But I always take and run a bead all the way around it, around this little seam. And then plug it back up and fill this boot right here up with silicone all down in there. And then plug it back up, and you put a bead of silicone around this, around the outside of this little seal right here. That way it's siliconed to this on the dash. It'll be like a bead right here, silicone. So we'll go ahead and do that now. On my four-wheeler, I siliconed around the screen. I don't think we need to do that. We're not gonna do that this time. And I did put silicone around this button, and I'm gonna do that on this one too, just because that's a little rubber piece and it's not sealed. So I'm gonna put a little silicone around this little button right here and let that be it. So I'll show you all the finished product in just a second. So alright, got the 3 little vents for the dash silicone. Got a bead going around the outside, smoothed it out. That way when it dries up you can't really tell it's there. And then got the button done. You can't really even tell I put any on it, but it's in there. So now take my fancy dancy clear RTV silicone. We'll come over here to this part. We're just gonna splooge it all down in the bottom right next to this little seal. Put it in that little wire harness right there. Just splooge it all in there. So just splooge it. Who's calling me? Who is it? Somebody all God, Jesus.
Leave that out.
I'm gonna leave it in there.
Best desk in Tony Ridge truck.
Oh yeah.
Sheriff's office, let me guess I got
Stuff right here give you a high if you ain't careful. Alright, so got that globbed all in there, got it squeezed in between all the wires and stuff. So that should be good. So what I think I'm gonna do, just like I did with the air box, I'm gonna let this dry overnight. That way that hardens up, and then I'll come in tomorrow as soon as I get off work and put a, because the only thing that's left is to put a bead around the outside of that piece to wear the silicone to this. So we'll let this dash seal up, and then it'll dry up. We'll let the dash dry up, and then we'll let that big glob in there dry up, and then we'll hit it with a bead. And put it back on there, and then it'll dry before Friday afternoon when we go take it, because it'll have pretty much over 24 hours to dry up before it goes in water. Don't know. Oh, I guess I could show you the back bracketry for the Snorkel. I contemplated on using this 2-inch boot right here for vibration. I was gonna put it right here, but in this long piece I was just gonna cut it in half and then put the boot in there, just so it had something for vibration. But I decided to do against that. I mean, I got this joker, I mean, you could hit it with a baseball bat and you'd have to break the pipe before it moved. But let me get my phone, hold on, I'll get us a flashlight so you can look at it. But I put a bracket right here. Just use the self tapper and that little thin, like, I guess you say 1/8 inch thick little metal piece of flat iron or flat steel, and just measured it and bent it, and then used one of the clamps off that 2-inch coupler, rubber coupler, and used a self tapper in the frame right here. And what's nice about this is you can loosen this clamp, so if you ever have to take the bed off, what's nice about this is you can just loosen that clamp, slide it off, and then the mount would come off with the bed. So you wouldn't ever have to take the mount off, you just loosen the little pipe clamp and it would come right off. I'm really not a fan. I wish I would have used black pipe right here. Next time I will, because this is kind of pretty visible from standing back here. Which there usually be a cooler back here or something, so it really won't matter. But the rest of it turned out pretty good. The green matches the plastics on the actual 4-wheeler. So but this is how I did this one. Just cut it and then bent it to come straight down, and put another little 2-inch coupler, the little pipe or hose clamp off the 2-inch coupler on there, and did that. So it's rigid. I mean, at the top it's got a little play, but if you get down here, and this joker, it ain't going nowhere. So getting that done, then we got somebody that's gonna let us borrow some 28-inch Moto Havocs for it. It's actually my old setup that came off of the 520. So my old 28s and the MS18 or MSA Vibe wheels, the dark smoke or dark tint wheels. So should go pretty good. So this thing's pretty tidied up. So now that you know what to do, I think I'm gonna cut this video here, because I mean the dash is the exact same as the 4-wheeler. It just comes out the dash a little bit different. So pretty simple if you need to know anything different. Everything's done though. Vent lines ran, snorkels ran, air box is sealed, lid's got dielectric grease on it, all the connectors have dielectric grease, Dash is sealed pretty much. Just gotta do that one last bead, which will be done tomorrow. Plug back in the rear tail light and put the back fenders back on it, and it'll be done. Be ready to go in the water.
Stay tuned, we're gonna sink it.
Yeah, no, we're not gonna sink it. We're not gonna sink it. I think my snorkel on my four-wheeler is taller than the snorkel on yours.
It might be.
Let's
Should have
see.
just took it to the roof.
Yeah, should just take it to the roof.
That's such an accurate measurement.
It is pretty accurate.
Such an accurate measurement.
That's about the same. Well, the top of his V comes to the bottom of mine, so there really ain't but about an inch difference, I guess you could say. So
We're going roof deep.
yeah. Got a seal coming for this one. You can see there's a little bit of oil dripping. The front output shaft seal's leaking. So we're pretty positive that's how water's getting in the motor. And it doesn't get a whole lot. It just, if you're in the water for a decent period of time, it gets water in the oil. So we're gonna replace that shaft or that seal, and we're gonna test it again, see if that works. We cleaned the whole motor with the super clean, and found out that's where the oil leak was coming from. So, which we knew there was one prior, but we thought we'd fixed it, but we didn't. So he got a new seal ordered, and we're gonna replace it either Friday if it comes in early, and if it doesn't come in early, then we'll just do it whenever we get back from Boondocks this weekend. So I may record at Boondocks, I may not, I don't know yet. We'll see, depending on how fun the riding is. I usually don't record at Boondocks when I go because it's kind of a crappy park. Yeah, it's lame as far as riding and content goes, but
Party, that's a great place to go.
yeah, if you want to party, it's a good place to go. I just go because it's close to the house. Ain't but 30-45 minutes from my house, so easy to go to. So we're gonna put the bolts back in this bed, plug the rear light back in, and put the fenders back on, and we're gonna call it quits for the video. It's already long enough, and I know this is gonna be a long minute video. It might be over 30 minutes, but it's gonna be very detailed. You got all the measurements that you need to cut for it to be this tall. You got your dash sealed, how to seal the air box, the lid, so how to take everything apart on it. So it should be very in-depth. So it's well worth making it a little bit longer because people like something that's very in-depth. So just make sure you like and subscribe. We're gonna put the motos on the Talon this weekend. We might put it in some water, a little bit anyway. It's a lot of money to put in the water. I'm kind of scared if we're being honest, but it is snorkel tight. I just have to do one last thing on it. I have to seal off, plug the water pump overflow vent, but everything else is done. All the vents ran, the piping's ran, everything's sealed off. So we'll see. I might put it in some water, I might not, I don't know. I do want to try to take that through the bounty hole, so if you're interested in seeing the 520 go through the bounty hole, probably won't make it, but we're going to try it. So they take side by sides and stuff through it, so we'll see how the old 520 does. I think we're going to let her eat. Ain't that right, Nathan?
Sure. You should take mine, but
I know. We were going to try to have this one fixed tonight too. We were going to finish up this and break this one out and pull the front diff up, pull the bolts out of the front diff and slide the front diff forward and drop the shaft out and pull the seal out and put a new seal in and test it out, but it didn't work out. So we'll see how it goes. But I'm gonna let this be it because I'm just rambling. So y'all like, subscribe, comment, tell me how you like the video, if it was very informative or if it wasn't. If y'all want to see a truck build, let me know, comment, because I don't know what to upload sometimes if you don't comment or what you want to see truly. So we're gonna try to go deep though. But yeah, especially P500, we gotta test her out. So y'all like, subscribe, comment, let me know what you think, and I'll see y'all on the next one. All right, snorkel's all done, and we borrowed a buddy of ours. These are actually my old wheels and tires off of my 520, the 28s and 14s. Borrowed his, and I had a set of lug nuts for it because the lug nut thread pattern is actually larger, or the studs on these are larger than the 520s and the 500 studs. These are 12mm studs, and the ones on the 500s and 520s are a little bit different, I think. But being this is a side-by-side platform, they use the 12mm lug thread, and the 500s might be 12. I don't know. I'm probably wrong, but I'm pretty sure they're not, but I may be wrong. But I had a set of lug nuts off the Talon, or for the Talon. I've got 3 sets of lug nuts for the Talon, but I had these spiked Mr. Chrome lug nuts, and they look super good with these rims. and the P500. So use those on that, and then snorkel's all done. The last thing we did was spider webs. The drain plug for the air box. You know, the long red hose that's on it, which would be touched all over that silicone. I can't. Oh, we're gonna get a flashlight. I got mine right here. You can kind of see the orange with the red hose, but the red hose, so we put it on there, put a hose clamp on it, on the air box. You see it up in there? And then we just plugged it with a bolt and silicone right here. And that'll be good enough. And then whenever you want to drain it, you can just, I mean, you could cut it shorter, make the plug shorter, but it'll hold more water like that in my opinion, so I'm gonna leave it like that. So just plugged it with a bolt and silicone, and put a pipe or a hose clamp on it at the air box. Everything else is done though. Everything's tightened and sealed and plugged in and running. We just took it for a test ride. Sounds good. Gotta get that zip tie off of it hanging up there. Dash is sealed and put back in and still works. So turn the key on. Everything works as should. Good. Button works. 95 miles. So everything works. So we're gonna conclude that. Let that be it. Looks good with the 28s on it though. And the rims and the lug nuts all together. And the snorkel. It looks mean. Looks good from behind too. Probably can't really tell, but looks good though. I dig it. So, alright y'all, see you.